All across Canada, backyard inventors are dreaming big and risking it all for their ideas.
My dream for my product is to have a licensing agreement, so millions are sold around the world.
My dream for the Snagger tool is that it's in the pocket of every firefighter in North America.
The cost is probably around $50,000 to get it where it is now.
Innovation expert Doug Hall will choose one of these inventors to take to his inventors boot camp, Eureka Ranch.
Any company that would look at this would want to have real proof that the thing was viable.
The chosen inventor will work with Doug to retool their idea before pitching it to a big business. It's a once-in-a-lifetime shot at turning their invention into a multi-million-dollar business opportunity. Doug Hall has invented his way to the top of the world. Fortune 500 companies pay big bucks to develop their ideas with his innovation team. But today, he is searching for an everyday inventor to help take their invention to market.
Many people have helped me over these many years. This is my time to go back and help others. Help them take their dreams and turn them into reality.
Volunteer firefighter Luke Galenzi spent 4 years developing what he believes is a must-have tool for firefighters everywhere.
Hello.
Hello. I've got a number of different prototypes here, but this is the most recent. It's a very simple tool. My dream for the Snagger tool is that it's in the pocket of every firefighter's bunker gear in North America. A large, heavy hose. This is just filled with sand right now to simulate it.
Yeah.
The hose has always got force back and forth.
Right.
And you just hang it on with your hands. The idea behind the Snagger tool is that you can grab the hose, and the harder you pull, you can now have a nice, easy thing to hang on to. The original idea came from a fire scene with another firefighter who said, there's got to be a better way to hang on to hose. And really, we are handling heavy hose, wet hose. It's icy, it's cold.
What are all the things that this can do? You said you can hold the hose.
Fire's in behind the drywall.
Right, so you got to get through it.
Simply drive it in like that. We can gain access very quickly. We can cut a wedge on this side. We can use it as a door brace. We can actually add a loop and hook into a roof vent. This is tempered glass that you get in a car, and you just have to, it's got that hardened tip.
Cycling enthusiast Robert DeYoung has spent $50,000 on his invention.
My gosh, what do we got here?
Our work bike.
A work bike.
Yeah. But we're looking at putting a tool on it. So it's not for commuting. It's for doing chores like cutting grass or cleaning sidewalks.
Instead of having a chain, he's created a hydraulic bike. The advantage of this is now he can also power other devices.
The current thing that we developed is a reel mower.
The old-fashioned spinning blade lawnmower.
Right.
Ballroom dance teacher Ines Mikeljevic is hoping to clean up with her invention, the bell glove.
I have a dish glove that I've modified. So this is your regular dish glove, straight, flat. The problem is that when you put these ones on and you wash dishes, water runs down the glove.
After many prototypes,
Cardboard, plastic, aluminum, plexiglass, there's metal.
she thinks she's got the solution.
Can we see it work?
As you go to set things down and you pick things up, already I've got water on my forearm, and there we go, that drop has gone in. And you can see my forearm is fine. There's nothing that went in. All of it wicks away.
I'm looking for an invention that is meaningfully unique, that makes a meaningful difference in people's lives that hasn't been done before. Okay, that's what I'm looking for in the invention.
Robert DeYoung is hoping his work bike for tackling outdoor chores has made enough of an impact on Doug.
What makes it unique is it's hydraulically driven, so we're not using chains and sprockets.
What's this going to cost?
I am projecting that the cost of this would be around anywhere between $5,000 to $7,000. It's a niche market product. It's not a mass market product.
I mean, in this case, cool technology, no business idea. But, oh my God, the work to do this. The question is why? I'm not going to bring you to the ranch because I cannot see a path through the wilderness, how it can become a commercial product.
It is something new. It's new ground. You don't really know until you make it and try it and put it out there.
Getting it out there is exactly what Ines Mikeljevic wants Doug to do with her bell glove.
Did you find other things like this?
I found other gloves that had the same intention. None of them have this, like, 180 curve.
I give it to you that it's a problem. But at the end of the day, you know, it's just not meaningful enough to make a real difference in the world. I have a very hard time seeing an opportunity where a company's going to buy something like this. So I'm going to have to say no to you to coming to the ranch.
I was hoping to make it through to the next stage. I still know that it works better than the competition. I'm not retiring this.
It's down to Luke Galenzi. He's already shown Doug what his snagger tool is capable of. Now it's a question of its potential to be a marketable product.
My dream for the snagger tool is that it's in the pocket of every firefighter, that it's being used in day-to-day operations, just making their job easier.
Any company that would look at this
would
want to have real proof that the thing was viable.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, you mentioned 11, and I'm guessing you got even more things that it can really do. I believe you. I'd like you to come to the Eureka Ranch.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I feel fantastic. I'm excited getting this tool developed further. Yeah, I guess I'm supposed to be nervous and all that, but I'm excited.
Coming up,
You could just drive it in.
a short, sharp shock for Luke.
There's obviously a risk of hitting wires. Does that conduct electricity?
That's going to be an issue.
Innovation expert Doug Hall has chosen volunteer firefighter Luke Galenzi to take to his Eureka Ranch to try to turn his snagger tool into a profitable and marketable product.
It means a lot to me. I mean, I've put a lot of work into this tool so far. It's very important to me to see this be successful.
To get him through an intense 48 hours at this inventor's boot camp,
I'm going to hit you really hard. We have a lot of work to do.
Luke is teamed up with innovation coach Maggie Nichols.
We're gonna start to fill out this board. My gosh, the invention itself, when I first saw it, it was so simple. Right now, what are the problems that this thing solves?
You know, running a hose up to the roof of a house, slide it into the side rung of a ladder. You can eliminate door wedges. You could eliminate a pike pole for pulling drywall and things like that. Potentially a hose wrench for the hook on the roof. Getting into that car window, holding that car door open.
And this never-ending list of uses concerns Doug.
Seems like an infomercial, you know. Hey, I can do this, I can do this, and it can spin your salad upside down. Is this a gadget or a tool? I mean, that's one thing that really matters to me. Let's help this situation.
Doug needs Luke to focus on one selling point for the snagger.
Fundamental reason why you buy the snagger: grip a hose, pull more. Got it. And then there's 20 other options.
That's right.
If it's wet, if it's muddy, if it's frozen, no matter what it is, we can grab it.
The square edges give you that extra. The harder you pull, the more it grabs. It's a very simple concept.
Will it save lives in the grand scheme of things?
In the grand scheme of things, it could, absolutely.
That's a big promise. A promise that big requires a lot of proof.
The challenge is set. Before they can pitch the invention to a company, they need to prove the claim. Will the snagger's unique method of gripping the hose really make it easier for firemen to maneuver?
So right now, a firefighter is pulling, again, what's the weight that they're pulling?
600 pounds of charged line.
And how many people are pulling that?
Normally 3.
So each person is basically pulling 200 pounds.
Exactly.
What we got to do now is we got to make this real. And today we're going to have some firemen in. I'm not a firefighter. And by getting them in, I'm going to be able to learn a lot more.
At the workshop, Luke needs to build a mechanism to simulate the pulling tension of a pressurized hose.
And then we're just going to roll this.
So that the pros can test his snagger.
You got 6 professional firefighters who know the job probably better than I do, and they're from a large city department. Intimidating, in a sense.
What we're doing is working on an invention to try to help firefighters. What we need you to do is to kind of mess with it and help us figure it out.
It's got 2 sides, 1.5-inch hose, 2.5-inch hose. So either way, you're gonna be able to snag the hose is limp. But you get the idea. When you come to 2.5-inch hose, same idea, just the other side. And so that's its primary function.
The frustration with working on the snagger is we didn't have a fire truck that could charge the hose. You could tell they were extremely skeptical. Can we pull on this?
Yeah, you can knock yourself. It won't grip the same.
Now we've got this set with about 200 pounds of weight on it.
Yeah. You'd have to try it with it being solid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, it grips so well. It was unfortunate that we didn't have a charged line.
And when the firefighters test the other uses of the snagger,
It's good for someone who doesn't have, like, the same grip strength.
It's small, it's compact, you can throw it in your bunker gear pocket.
a more serious issue arises.
The drywalling, there's obviously a risk of hitting wires. Does that conduct electricity?
That does conduct electricity, yeah. That's going to be an issue.
If there's live wires in there and it conducts electricity, this isn't good.
The team works to source a new material that the snagger could be made out of in order to solve this problem. But they're running out of time.
Went back to the table, and Maggie had an epiphany.
We just got off the phone. All the things that we needed it to do, it does.
Really?
It's made out of volcanic rock. It's non-conductive.
I mean, this is killer technology. Maggie found it, which solves the fundamental problem that the firefighters talked about today. Go through the wall, you hit an electric wire.
No problem.
It's going to cost a little more.
Sure.
So where this one's going to sell for 50, the new one's probably going to be about 75.
Right.
That problem solved. But because they couldn't test the snagger's ability to pull hose today, tomorrow they'll need to test it in the field with 30 firefighters.
We're going to pull real charged lines, and these guys are going to make or break it. The worst news would be that, you know, if they call it a gadget, you know, that's not what I want to hear.
When we come back,
This is the snagger tool.
the jury is out for the snagger.
They're all kind of looking at each other. What is this thing?
Innovation expert Doug Hall
Ideas that make a meaningful difference in the world.
is lighting a fire under inventor Luke Galenze to help him prove that his snagger tool is more than a gimmick.
Is it a gadget or a tool?
It's day 2. Time to test the invention with the pros. 30 firefighters from across the city come down to give their verdict.
When we have a good-sized audience and we have a charged line, what matters is after they use it, do they find that it really made a difference or not? I mean, that's it, straight up. Thank you for coming. My name's Doug Hall. Maggie Nichols, and we've got Luke here, who's an inventor. He's actually a fireman.
It's do or die for Luke. He must prove the snagger makes hauling a charged line much easier. And he's facing a tough crowd.
What is most important is that you tell us the truth. As you do this, please take yourself to the moment when you're at a fire scene. Is this the kind of thing that could truly help you at that moment?
You know, there's a group of 30 of them. They're all kind of looking at each other. What is this thing? I got the real impression they thought it was the next gimmick. The worst news would be that they say, this is useless. This is not a tool that we would need.
The test is simple. Each firefighter will pull a slippery hose by hand, and then again using the snagger to gauge the difference.
So this is the snagger tool. This tool is designed to be in your bunker gear pocket. The harder you pull, the more it pinches. That's its main function. I don't know if you guys have some sort of pecking order who the first guinea pig wants to be. Good man.
When they grab the line, some of them are so strong, they could move it.
All right, that's good. All right, you get the snagger.
But when they turned around and they took the snagger and they turned and faced forward, it was like they were just walking.
All right, next guy.
I found being able to turn and pull the hose and being able to walk forward was a big help. The difference is night and day.
You get better posture, you're able to use your legs more. Straightforward orientation is better. On your back, it doesn't strain your back as much. You turn sideways, you get more strain on your body. And also, if you're going backwards, you can't see what's behind you.
Now head her the other way. That was a huge discovery because walking forward is safer. You're using your legs, not your lower back. You're not twisting. You're not using arm strength. Excellent, excellent. I'm not a kinesiology major, but it does seem obvious. Good stuff.
On a scale of 0 to 10, 0 is definitely not buy and 10 is definitely would buy, how likely would you be to buy this product if it was available?
I got to stand right in the middle of the pack there for a little while. The response from the guys was great. I think we have a resounding yes from firefighters.
But even with the positive feedback, there's still work to be done. Tomorrow, Luke will pitch his invention to the CEO of a large company. With just hours to go, he now needs to hone in on the impact the snagger could have on the industry in terms of safety.
Of total injuries, it's only 39%.
$100 million a year.
15,000 injuries a year.
Wow.
Handling that charged hose line. We found out that in firefighting, of the injuries that occur every year, 39% of them are as a result of handling fire hose.
It's more than burns, it's more than electrocution. I had no idea the numbers were that high.
If we're able to make even the slightest dent into a $100 million expense, which represented about 15,000 injuries, that's huge.
It's hard to believe.
It is.
This little piece of metal could save lives. Oh, it's great that it can hold line. But helping a firefighter prevent an accident, that's a much bigger benefit promise. And all of a sudden, the whole idea got transformed.
And the transformation has a big impact on Doug's financial forecast.
You're probably looking at $2 to $5 million in sales in year one, and it could get to $10 million a year in sales.
Wow.
So we got to make this pitch tomorrow, man.
Oh, absolutely. Well, this has been a very intense process, and so I guess it would mean an awful lot.
It's now all riding on Luke to snag a deal tomorrow.
You got to nail this thing. You got to nail it.
Yeah.
When we come back, Luke tears it up in the boardroom. When inventor Luke Galenzi first arrived at the Eureka Ranch, Doug wasn't sure his snagger invention was the real deal.
When I first heard of this, it looked like another gadget that the world didn't need. All right, next guy.
Over the past 48 hours, the team has discovered a new safety benefit to the tool.
Excellent. Excellent.
Straightforward orientation is better. On your back, it doesn't strain your back as much.
And now it's all up to Luke to sell the unique benefits of his invention to a top CEO.
I am nervous. There's a certain level of nervousness where, yeah, am I going to say something really stupid? Am I going to go off on a tangent that I don't need to go on? Am I going to forget to say certain things? I'm looking forward to the opportunity today to connect with someone who could get it to the hands of every firefighter in North America.
The volunteer firefighter will pitch his snagger to Steve Schwartz, CEO of Lion Apparel, the world's largest supplier of firefighter protective clothing.
Good morning.
Good morning.
He has the potential to launch the product to firefighters worldwide.
So what I want to talk to you today about is a simple little tool to assist a firefighter in handling a fire hose more safely, more effectively, more ergonomically correct. And we call it the Snagger multi-purpose firefighter tool. I'll give you one to hang on to there.
Thank you.
Very simply, you just loop it over the hose, and the harder you pull, the tighter it pinches. So we've turned our hands from doing this.
Yep.
We've turned 90 degrees. We've gotten away from a bent elbow and a twisting motion or holding it off to the side. I can support and hold the guy in front of me. That's the basic concept.
I see, at least in this model, there's some holes and different piece of metal in here.
There's a bunch of other functions that this does at the same time. So that little tip you see on there, that's a hardened tip for breaking glass, and I'll show you how that works. We just, we can pop glass, and immediately I've got a hook for my heart monitor, defib, IV bag.
I think actually the hook could be very useful because most of the events you go to, as you know, are motor vehicle type accidents. And I'm thinking about fire departments being focused on safety. To what extent this could be used for emergency escape in terms of hooking onto a window ledge or something in the room.
We designed this with a shock load of 500 pounds. As minimum, it actually ended up being a lot higher than that.
I had a fire chief tell me, this thing helps me pull one guy out. We got him.
If you are whipping yourself out of a second floor window and you do hook the charge line, it will not slide.
So in terms of my thoughts on the negative side would be the size and weight, really not knowing exactly at this point whether the use would be significant enough for the fire department to want to invest in it. I think the primary use, though, is a very important one. Being able to move the hose and do it in an ergonomic way, I think that it has clear benefits. They're safety-based, and I think it would be well received by the fire service, both at the department level and at the individual firefighter level. Luke, yes, I'm interested in pursuing the commercialization of this product.
Fantastic. Thank you. Look forward to working with you. Appreciate that. Someone who knows the industry inside out and backwards says yes, and that's fantastic.
Anytime I feel like I can help the fire service be safer and help the fire service save a life faster, that means a lot to me. I could see close to 1 million firefighters buying this product.
A large part of Luke's success is helping create a solution to to a very real problem. I think Luke's invention, firefighters are going to be getting it. I think it's going to happen.
The future looks a whole lot better. Having him involved and his company and his team and engineers and marketing's prowess gives the snagger a future.
For more information, visit WNetwork.com/backyardinventors.